Okay, so in this video what I want to do is trigonometry. But before I even go into any of that, I want to do a quick little revision on square root, because you need to be able to do that in order to do Pythagoras theorem. So you already know 4 squared means 4 multiplied by 4, which is 16, okay? But what if you were asked, or you wanted to find out the square root of 16? Well, basically what they're asking you for is you're kind of working backwards. So they're saying to you the square root. So the root, the squared root of this number. They're asking you what number multiplied by itself will give you 16. So 4 multiplied by itself will give you 16. So the squared root of 16 has to be 4. Now, there's a whole list of numbers which are called perfect squares. Right, and all that means is when you get the square root of them, it's a whole number. So if you can remember your tables from primary school, you can do this no problem. So the perfect squares are like, say, the square root of 4. That's going to give us 2, because 2 2s are 4. The square root of 9 is 3, because 3 squared is 9. The square root of 16, like we had up here, is 4. The square root of 25 is going to be 5, because 5 5s are 25, 5 squared. So it's like 2 2s, 3 3s, 4 4s, 5 5s. You can get the pattern now. I know you're all shouting out the next one. Square root of 36 has to be 6. 6 6s are 36. The square root of 49, has to be 7. Square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 81, got to be 9. Square root of 100 is 10. So all of these are what's called perfect squares. So if your answer to something is like the square root of 30, you know it's not going to be a whole number. It's going to have decimal places after it, because it's not one of these perfect squares. So if you put the square root of 30 into your calculator and you get a number like 7 or something, you know you have to be wrong. You've pressed something wrong there, because the square root of 30, you're expecting it to be somewhere between 5 and 6. It has to be less than 6 but greater than 5. It has to be somewhere in between these, so it's going to be 5 point something. So if you get 5 point something, you can estimate that, yeah, I'm right here. Okay? So what you need to be able to understand is, to do trigonometry, is basically how to manipulate these. So what you need to know is, like the way I said, 4 squared is 16. Right? So how do I get 4 on its own here? Well, if 4 squared is 16, then 4 has to be equal to the square root of 16. So what's the square root of 16? 4. So does 4 equal 4? Yes, it does. You need to be able to know how to do this in order to do the next thing for Pythagoras theorem. I'm going to do a new video on that, okay?